ladies and gentlemen, Zachary D'Amato is about to come on and just rock your world, talking about ministry in the marketplace. Service to many leads to greatness, and this guy is leading with his heart and really serving a lot of people in his marketing company and doing a lot of great things. So make sure you stay tuned because it's going to be full of gold and empowering you to be your greatest possible self. Before we dive into that, let's talk about the sponsor message. I got three special opportunities and options for you. Number one, if you are committed to getting your message out in a bigger way and you see becoming your greatest possible self as a platform that can help you do that, let's have a conversation. I would love to see if it's a good fit for us to work together and to help you get that message out to our audience. And if you're out to make the world a better place and help people become their greatest possible self, most likely you're a fit. Send me a message at I am Millionaire Chris on Instagram. Find me on Facebook, facebook.com/th3burns, or just get a hold of me however you can find me, and let's talk about it, okay? So that's number one. Number two, if you're excited to get your message out in a bigger way and you want to own your own platform like I have with the 12-hour marathon, you want to start your own podcast. I'm doing podcast launch masterminds and masterclasses that are launching just about every quarter. We got one that's launching this Thursday, May 24th, but if you didn't make that one, and you're listening to the podcast, I think we have another one launching third week of July. So if you want to find out more about that, send me a message as well. Would love to fill you in on how we can support you in getting your message out in a bigger way and becoming the authority and go-to person for whatever you want to be known for. So that's the second one. And then the last one is if you want to connect with one of these amazing guests like Zachary, like any of the other awesome human beings on here, come talk to me, message them, take that leap, take that next step because they're here to support you, and so am I, okay? So reach out, do the legwork, send the message, okay? It really makes a difference. Next is the iTunes review of the week, and this week it's by David Shihade, and David says, Chris is fantastic. The first time I listened to Chris, I knew he is the real deal. He will inspire you to move up higher on the ladder of life wherever you are, as long as you have the desire to learn. Thank you, Chris, for the great work. David, thank you so much for giving us that review. And if you want to give us a review, let us know what you love, what you want to see more of on the show. Go to beyourgps.com/iTunes or search Becoming Your Greatest Possible Self on the iTunes Store. While you're there, make sure you subscribe because that's how you get the daily updates. We release an episode just about every day for the marathon, for the podcast specifically. So definitely stay tuned. Keep getting that inspiration, motivation to become your greatest possible self. And I look forward to continuing the journey with you. All right, so I'm going to introduce Zachary in just a bit here. Before that, make sure you grab a piece of paper, grab a pen. Be ready for some bombshells that absolutely transform you, your life, your perspective on the world, serving people, making money, and marketing as well. Zach is gonna bring the fire for us. And also make sure you stay all the way through till the end because you never know what one idea can transform the rest of your life. So let's introduce Zach and then bring him on the screen. Zachary D'Amato is an entrepreneurial leader whose track record for success is achieved by his high level of integrity. His focus on personal development and leadership has increased his value to the marketplace. He's experienced in expanding to new territories and really enjoys helping people understand new products and services to improve their lifestyle and their experience. He believes abundance is available to all who take action. He consults many leaders hands-on and serves as an advisor to executive teams and startup companies. He served as a member in his hometown Rotary Club, coached high school wrestling, and contributes to many nonprofits. He's a philanthropist at heart, and he also understands it's the journey, not the destination, that is most important, finding great pleasure in today's journey. Focused on his vision and purpose, he is eager to seize the opportunity for expanding his business and adding more value to people who care. Naturally, a man of action, Zachary is always generous to share his thoughts, insights, tools, and resources to continue his journey by adding tremendous value to the people he serves. When you ask him what his main goal is, he will say, my current main goal is similar to the early business tycoon and philanthropist Andrew Carnegie's. Spend half my life accumulating money and spend the other half of my life giving it away. And that's a great, great start to this conversation. Zachary, are you ready to rock the house, my man?
Yes, I'm ready, man. I am ready.
Love it. Love it, dude. Thank you for being here, taking time out of your schedule to share some powerful wisdom with our audience. We both came from the same hometown area, Chino Hills, and that area, Southern California. Just super, super grateful for growing up and seeing how we blossomed and flourished in our own paths, and then coming back together. Man, the world is a really big place, and at the same time, it's also a small place, and it's exciting to be on the journey with you, man. So thank you for being here to share your wisdom and experience with our audience, man.
I'm honored.
Awesome.
Who knew that so many good people would come out of Chino Valley?
That's right, man. That's right. World changes, man. That's the name of the game. So let's dive right into the theme of today, which is freedom to fly, man. What does that mean for you, Zach?
Freedom to fly.
Yeah.
I think when I think about that, I think about all the people who do not have an environment, whether it's at home, in the workplace, with their loved ones, that don't have an environment to express themselves freely.
Yeah.
And I think about when I grew up, I wasn't very expressive. I was, to myself. And when I think of freedom to fly, man, I think of just possibilities, and I think about being the best possible self. You need the freedom to fly. You need that environment.
Yeah, I love it, man. That's so cool because we really are a product of our environment. We really are a sum total of the experiences that we have, the thoughts that we think, the people that we hang around. They really, really shape us. And I'm sure for you, I know part of your journey was coming from a difficult past and then coming into really being faith-based. And I'm sure having your wife, congratulations on that, beautiful relationship as well, has really empowered you to step into your greatness, into your servitude, into your love, and to be able to create even more prosperity in that process. So tell us a little bit more about who you are and what you stand for with your clients. I mentioned a bit of it in the bio, but just in your own words, man, and let us know.
Yeah. So, I'm a businessman, not a businessman, but I'm a businessman.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was, I don't know who said that. Maybe P. Diddy, but, that's who I am. At the center of it, I became somebody interested in entrepreneurship because of a need. I grew up in a household that had everything financially covered, and it was a great home. And then what happened is my brother had brain cancer, and everything shifted. All of a sudden, I realized that my parents didn't have as much money or didn't have it all together as I thought. I think when we're children, I think we think our parents know it all, and I think on some level they know a lot. But yeah, I think that was a shift for me. So I became an entrepreneur. I wanted to learn how to make money. I wanted to not just make money, but I wanted to not attach my money to my time. So I grew up in a home that we had all the finances pretty much covered. There were struggles because of medical bills, but our food, our shelter was covered. I mean, my parents didn't fight over the mortgage. You know what I mean? They didn't worry if the mortgage was going to get paid next month.
That's amazing.
But my dad was in a poverty of time. He didn't have the time. So you either have a lot of time and no money, or you have a lot of money and no time. And I think growing up, we grew up in a home that had a lot of money, but not a lot of time. And that's what I longed for. I longed for somebody to show me things that I think as a young man or young woman, any child needs their parent to show them. And because of the circumstances with my brother and because of the way my dad generated income, nothing against my father. I love my father, but because of the way he generated income, I needed that time, with a mentor.
That's
so,
and
also,
I'm sure you mentioned earlier, because this was for me, I felt like I isolated myself because I didn't have as strong of a emotional and empathetic and communicative relationship with my dad, because he was like the tough guy, and it wasn't about like being expressive with him. So I'm wondering if there was that same dynamic with you, with the father figure, the masculine energy, that you didn't feel like you could really express yourself and have a deep, communicative relationship because of the time constraint. So I wonder if that influenced the ability to express yourself.
Yeah, definitely. I think the desire to wanting to express myself came out of the lack of actually having it as a child. Absolutely. I think totally. I mean, you and I probably went through a similar journey of kind of rediscovering what it means to be a man
Yeah.
based on our terms, right?
Yep.
Based on what our parents tell us or show us, but based on our terms.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally. No, you're spot on there.
That's rad, man. So I mentioned also about your marketing company. You shared a little bit about your family and how you got started in business, and I want to dive into that as well. But just in terms of the professional aspect of you, tell us a little bit more about your company, so that people who are just getting connected with you and getting to know you, they know who you are in marketing, and especially this message of ministry in the marketplace. That's really unique and it's different. And I know we'll get into it more, but just give us the overview of who you are and what you stand for, man.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, so I stand for ministry in the marketplace. Through my journey, I realized that I wanted to separate my time and money, but I also had a passion and desire to serve people. And so my study the last 10, 12 years has been on sales and marketing, on the processes of how to sell and the psychology of sale, the processes of sales, and then also the systems to automate those sales. And, part of expressing yourself is having the tools to express yourself. So part of expressing yourself is what we talked about earlier, is having a safe environment to express yourself. No bully. Like if you're young, I don't know what the age group is in your podcast or the live stream, but if you're young, you have bullies. Old people have bullies too. But, if you have a safe environment where you can share your passions, I create basically the systems to monetize it. And how you could focus on the main thing, and that's what you're passionate about. Focus on your business, not the business systems, because my company will take care of it for you.
Yeah, beautiful. So that's really powerful, because I know that there's a lot of entrepreneurs out there who are just wanting to get their gifts out to the world. And I come across a lot of people who know that they're meant for more, know that they have a purpose. And the first level is saying, okay, well, how can I actually serve people? And a lot of people don't have that clarity. The second level is, okay, I know what I want to do, but I don't have the flow of people and traffic and leads and ability to serve people, because marketing is not their forte. It's not their strength. And they haven't developed those systems and strategies to be able to generate that. So I think it's definitely needed what you're doing in the marketplace today, so that people can deliver their gifts. I know a big part of you is serving people who have a purpose, who have a cause. You've worked with nonprofits. You help people who are really making a difference in the world, man.
Yeah, absolutely. No, and just to touch on too, everything I teach or offer my clients, I built the marketing company out of a need to serve. So, I built my businesses all from scratch. Obviously, I had teams of people. You can't do anything great without a team of people, right? Yeah. So if you have an ego and you're watching this, just stop watching. I'm assuming if you're still watching, you don't have an ego. So, but I had a team of people help me, but we kind of did all the logistics of business building as a team, right? We didn't outsource a lot of stuff. But what I started to find out is, as I started doing online systems, other entrepreneurs would ask me what I'm doing, what kind of systems I'm doing, whether it's email campaigns or sales funnels or ads. And they're like, hey, what are you doing that's working? I see it's working. What are you doing? So I'd show them. But then I had people come to me and they would say, hey, don't show me how to do it. I don't have the time, but I have the money. Just do it for me.
Yeah.
And that's why I created the marketing company. And then I created the services that I offer, because I started looking at other competitors, and I started looking at all these people that were charging thousands of dollars to manage Facebook ads. And although I do agree that, that you pay for what you get for, or you get what you pay for, but I started noticing that these companies that were paying thousands of dollars didn't have the fundamentals. So my company decided that we didn't want to sell people on Facebook ads. I mean, we know how to use Facebook ads. We know retargeting. We know all that stuff. I mean, you'll see. You go to my website, you get retargeted. You know it works because it's working. It does it, right? But I didn't want people to spend that kind of money when they weren't ready. So I have these foundational services that help people get ready for Facebook ads.
Beautiful, man. So I want to go back into the journey, because we hear what you're doing today. Awesome stuff. Let's go back into the journey and talk about your experience in getting to today. You mentioned your brother having brain cancer, and that was a really challenging time for your family to grow through that, and to see what is left after things are difficult and shaken up. I think that's like a really challenging time to dig deep into the roots of who you are and what you stand for as a family and as individuals. So out of that, what you mentioned time, you wanted more time, you wanted more money because you saw that there was like a scarcity of that. How did your journey evolve into sales and marketing specifically?
Yeah, great question. So I wanted to separate my time and money because of the need of growing up, without the time with my family.
Right.
But my focus was just making money. I mean, that's all I cared about. I mean, mission statement, I didn't have one. A purpose, my purpose was making money. My goal, making more money. That's what it was, right?
Yeah.
And what happened was I started doing things and selling things that, my time and money weren't connected. And I was making profits and not necessarily wages all the time. Right. But I was doing things I wasn't necessarily proud of. And, and I was selling things I wasn't necessarily proud of. I was hanging around groups of people I weren't necessarily proud of. And although I made tons of money, I mean, there was months that, we did in 11 months, we did $2.5 million in commissions for me and my group, like a little team that we had.
Wow.
And, but the problem was we weren't mission focused and we weren't focused, although the desire to make money came from something that was deep in my heart. My ship was still focused only on making money and it didn't really go to the root. So my journey then came out of another need, almost desperation. I was doing things I wasn't proud of and I wanted to change. And a friend introduced me to the concept of a mentor. A mentor introduced me to the concept of legitimate businesses and, how to go through personal development to discover yourself and to add value to the marketplace to increase your money. But I think the most important thing that he taught me is ministry in the marketplace. That you're there to serve people, and service to many leads to greatness. And that was the mindset shift that needed to happen to kind of get me to kind of a fulfilled area in my life right now.
Dude, that's freaking powerful, man. And I love how mentorship and having someone who'd been there before and can guide you to where you wanted to go, that was like one of your keys. For me, it was too. I hired my first life coach going to Toastmasters at a place in my life where I'm like just trying to figure out who the heck I am, and he taught me the basics of gratitude and love and setting goals and stuff that made all the difference for the rest of my journey. Without him, my first mentor, like I couldn't have gotten to where I am today. So I love that that's a part of your journey too, man.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's the key. It's really the key. If you don't have somebody teach, and people get caught up on mentor and they're scared, they're like, oh, the mentor is I don't want to be a follower. I want to have my own individuality. And that's great. But to be a leader, you need to be a follower.
Yep.
And, everybody needs a mentor. And all a mentor is someone who's experienced and someone you trust.
Yeah. So
they're experienced in the specific area. So I'm not going to go to my health coach and my mentor in health and ask them how to build a business. Actually, he goes to me, right? But I'm going to go to him on my health. So they're experienced in the area and you trust them, right? They're not going to take your wallet and they're not going to just, leave you hanging, or they don't have self-interest.
Yeah. Yeah, I love it, man. I love it. So you changed your focus with the mentor's help. What was your growth like after you got this new guidance and new direction in your life?
Yeah, great question. I think the growth happened inside. There was, before I really decided to focus on ministry in the marketplace, I had $10,000, $20,000, $30,000 months. So they weren't, it wasn't like, no, I'm not a 1%er, but I wasn't starving, right? Money, right. I was making money, right. But I think the real growth was inside.
Yeah.
Right. I think what happened with me inside was I felt more fulfilled. I felt like I was doing what I was called to do. I felt like, that I was just more happy, with who I was as a person, which then flowed into my businesses. I started to attract better people. I attracted the love of my life, my wife, that I made my wife. And just so many changes happened because I decided to focus on a mission and focus on ministry and serving people.
That's rad, man. So let's dive into that, like commitment and declaration. Where did that come from, and what does that look like today in your business? And how can our audience start to do that as well?
Great question, man. When I was gonna get on this podcast or this live, I knew you were gonna ask good questions. But man, you're prying it open, and I love it. So thank you.
You're welcome.
And so I think today I focus on serving people. So everyone has a sales process. And if you're watching this and you don't have a sales process, well, you need to get one.
Yeah.
But my sales process, like for instance, Chris, like you have a great sales process.
Thank you.
To get on this interview, there's a process I needed to go through, right? You vet out, but you also kind of, you get the questions you need to make it more effective with our time.
Yep.
So the sales process is important, but I think the way I look at my sales process is I'm focused on service. And I say, hey, like I have a sales team that they prospect for me and they look for clients for me. But I tell them, look, all you have to do is ask them one question. Are you interested in growing your online presence? And if they say yes, you say, great. I'm going to sit down with you and give you a free strategy session. So you could learn how you could grow your business. Now, some people who are professional marketers who are maybe ahead of the curve, they may be like, well, yeah, that's standard. I do that. Of course, that's a sales pitch, But the mindset is focusing on service. Yeah. I'm not selling my products with them. Like, no joke, anybody who's been on a call with me, they know I actually don't sell my products. I tell them I look at their business. I spend about 15 minutes asking them question and, question after question after question, like you're going to a doctor, right? I find out what's happening. And then I give them, 3 to 5 tips how they personally could do in their business to grow their business, whether they hire my company or not. So I focus on small, medium-sized businesses, a lot of entrepreneurs. So a lot of do-it-yourself kind of people. And so my goal is to just give them tools so they could grow their business and give them the resources and kind of show them what I use to grow my business.
That's beautiful, man. Beautiful. So your focus is really helping people to build their online presence, because I think that's what a lot of people want. If they have more viewers, if they have more traffic, if they have more followers, then they associate that to more opportunities to have those conversations. And I think a lot of people, it's interesting because I think there's pieces of the puzzle that people have, but they don't have the whole like puzzle put together. And it sounds like that's something that you really help with, is like, what are the weak links in the process? Okay, well, maybe you have a ton of followers, but nobody jumps on a sales call with you. Well, then there's a missing link there that doesn't convert into money. Or maybe you have like these amazing sales calls or service calls and discovery calls, but you're not having that many of them. What's the broken link between translating from, hey, you're seeing my content, or not that many people are seeing my content, into those calls?
Right. Absolutely. No, absolutely. And you're so on point. A lot of people have a lot of the information and a lot of the puzzles, but they just can't figure out how to put it together. Yeah. And here's 2 great examples. One gentleman, his name's Carlos. He watched so many YouTubes. Every time I talked to him, he knew what I was talking about. He knew what I was talking about. Yeah. But the problem is that to know but not do is not to know at all. So I asked him, I said, well, what are you doing with that knowledge? He said, I'm not doing anything. I said, well, here's a 1, 2, 3 step program where you can start actually applying that knowledge, where it's not overwhelming, but it's simple. Yeah. Literally 30 days later, he's texting me saying, hey, I got 4 affiliates in my program and my real estate business is growing. I'm getting more leads. He didn't buy my services. He just jumped on a call with me. Yeah. Okay. So another lady, her name's Liz, which is funny story. My wife's name is Liz, also, but not my wife. Okay. But this woman, Liz, she's in a direct sales company. She's a network marketer and she's a professional. She's grew tons of businesses, but she's in the health and wellness industry. CBD is a big one. And she's like, hey, I got all these pieces of the puzzle together. And, she also her and her husband are a business owner. They own a business in San Diego, a traditional business. And she had all the pieces together, but there was one piece she was missing. And literally 15, 30 minutes on a call with me, she figured it out and boom, she had an aha moment. She recruited 10 people into her direct sales business. I just talked to her today. She's telling me, oh yeah, my ads got approved because Facebook's got some algorithms. They approve and disapprove ads. So yeah, my ads finally got approved and she never paid me anything.
No.
She just jumped on a call. We talked and just so you know, I get as much value out of this as I think the people who actually jump on the call with me do.
Yeah.
I really do. I get value. I get a value out of talking to people. So
yeah, 100%, man. It's like the service mindset is that is just as fulfilling as, the people who are on the receiving end, delivering the service, sharing the gifts. Cause that's like you're literally being a conduit of divine wisdom, gifts, energy, God, like really channeling that through to serve people and bring more love, bring more clarity, bring more empowerment to the marketplace and to the world to make it a better place.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Yeah. No, it's such a good feeling.
I love it, man. So in terms of what our audience, we have a lot of entrepreneurs, authors, speakers, coaches. I'm sure it's a little bit difficult to pinpoint what they might be stuck with, but if you had to guess, what are some of the top challenges that people go through in those missing pieces of the puzzle that they could probably say, oh man, that's me. Like I'm missing that. And you can give them some real good stuff right now.
Yeah, that's a great thing. I think what most people are missing is a mentor. That's it. And a true mentor, somebody who's experienced and somebody they can trust. And they have barriers, and a lot of the time it's not a practical solution. I have all the practical solutions and automations and systems, but I think really it's the mindset and it's what you do, Chris. It's really what you do is what is the major stumbling block with people, and it's they don't think they could do it. They don't have the belief, and they don't have the accountability partner that you bring, the coaching that you bring, and they, I say that with my true heart because, all these systems work that I offer my clients, but they don't work if your mind's not working properly. So, the difference between somebody that's having success and not having success is really their mindset. So I think that's the major stumbling block is look at your mindset. Are you egotistical? Do you think you know it all and you have no results? Like, are you studying a lot? Right? Like, are you studying, but you're not applying? That's a very common thing.
Yeah.
But a coach like yourself will be able to call that out and let them know.
Yeah, dude, I love that. I used to be a seminar junkie where like I felt like I was doing all the right things and showing up and consuming tons of content and inspirational stuff and podcasts and all these things, videos, motivational videos. And at some point I said, you know what? I'm going to flip the switch, and instead of being a content consumer, I'm going to be a content generator. And I think that that's a powerful distinction that our audience can make today too, especially in terms of marketing and content and getting your message out there. Be a generator of action, of conversations, of messaging people, of letting people know that they're valued, that they're special. Be a generator of that service. And when you're doing that and just focusing on generating rather than constantly consuming and what else do I need? It's like there's a lack conversation, there's a scarcity. It's mindset, right? Like I don't have enough. Switch that to I have more than enough. Now, how can I go share this wisdom and wealth and greatness with others and then get rewarded in the process?
Absolutely. And you're a generator, man. You're definitely a content generator. You're generating energy. You generate time freedom for people. You generate, ideas that turn into money for people. And but happiness, man. That's I think at the end of the day, when you're living your best life ever, which is what you help people do, people are happy. Yeah. And at the end of the day, that's all that matters.
That's it, man. And it's like, it's taken me a long time just to get here, right? I had to do those fundamentals, practicing gratitude, journaling, visualizing, reading, meditating. Like those are still important and I still do them today. but it was like the focus of why I was doing them was because I wasn't enough and I had to get somewhere. In your bio, you mentioned about it's more about the journey. It's about like, hey, it's not some destination, not about achieving some goal, getting the man or woman of your dreams, getting to $1 million, whatever. It's more about being here and now and appreciating what is. And like for me, I always felt like my clients weren't enough. Like I wasn't serving enough clients. I wasn't making a big enough impact, and it's like at a certain point I just got to say, man, I am changing these people's lives. If there's 3 people, there's 5 people, there's 10 people, whatever, like I am changing these individuals' lives, and it's more than enough. What I'm doing is more than enough, rather than, man, I need more because I'm not doing enough yet.
Right. You just got to give everything you got. You'll have more tomorrow, but give what you got today. And it's a good story, and it's a parable. I'm not an expert in the Bible, but I think there's some great stories. And the story of a master who leaves his town, and he gives 3 of his servants these bags of money. One servant got 1 bag, one got 3, one got 5. The master came back and he said, "What did you do with the money?" Well, the one who had 1 bag, or the one who had 5 bags, say, "Hey, I doubled it. I turned your 5 into 10." And the master's like, "Great, I'll give you more." The guy who had 3, he doubled it also, turned 3 to 6. He said, "Great." Master said, "I'll give you more." Awesome. The guy who only had 1, he said, "Hey, I only had 1, so I buried it because I was scared. I was scared to, the tragedy of the commons. I was scared to provide or scared to offer anything because I only had a scarcity amount. So I buried it. But here you go." He said, "Dude, you're fired." Fired. He said, "Go home. You're wicked," And so I think about that. There's been lots of times in my life where I had a lot, and there's been lots of times where I had a little. Yeah. And I think at the end of the day, if it comes from a heart of generosity and you focus on serving people, then that's all that matters. You're going to give what you got.
Yeah. I love it, Zach. Awesome, man. So this is really great stuff, and you gave us some great marketing wisdom. I also want to talk deeper about the philosophy of ministry in the marketplace, because I think that that's something that's really unique and special about you. I want you to share why you created that specifically, if we haven't covered that yet, or just go a little bit deeper into that philosophy.
Absolutely. I'd love to. That's my passion. So when people think of ministry, a lot of people think of Christians. And yeah, although a lot of Christians are, doing ministry, that's not what I'm talking about here. I'm talking about all religions who are contributing. Okay, even if you're not, say, religious, I'm talking about a contributor. I'm talking about ministry is serving. That's what ministry is serving someone other than yourself. So serving someone that can't never, or maybe you can never see that they can serve you in return. So completely selfless serving. And that's what I'm talking about, ministry in the marketplace. And when I look at a lot of religions, and I noticed that, there is a marketplace happening. And I felt like a lot, not all, and I'm not here to bash anybody, because we could do the best we can with what we got. But I wanted to make sure that there was a difference between ministry in the marketplace and the marketplace in the ministry. So there's people who say, "I will help you because I know karma or things are going to come back to me." Okay. Yeah. So that is ministry. Okay. That's doing the marketplace in the ministry. That's trying to get dollars out of this service. Yeah. It's not coming from a service heart. So what I want to focus on, just giving. And in that giving, how can I then help those givers then generate money somewhere else, non-related to the giving, and then really do ministry in the marketplace.
That's great, man. That's great.
Yeah. And it's all about the service mindset and heart. That's really what it comes down to. Service to many leads to greatness. That's really what it is. So, I help a lot of people who are nonprofits kind of distinguish that. They want to talk about, we want to grow our church, or we want to get more people to this event. And, I had a couple of years ago, I had a battle with a church, and they're like, how do we get more people to this event? How do we get more people to this event? And I said, go find people and say, come to this event with me for free.
Mm.
They're like, whoa, we can't do that. This event, it's cost us 10 grand to put this event together. And, we're paying for this, and we got to recoup some of our money. And, that's why tickets are $100 each. And I'm like, dude, you guys are missing it. Your faith, you have little of it. Maybe none of it. And so I sometimes get in conversations with people and in those type of conversations. And but if you just really serve, man, the creator who has it all, I don't care who you believe. I mean, we came from someone, right? But something, right? So whatever you believe, but he'll give you more. The universe will give you more. Yeah. They'll give you more. Just give it, and don't think it's going to come back to you in the way that you gave it. It might come back to you a year from now. It may come back to you maybe never. And you have to be okay with that. And once you're in a place where you're okay with that, that's ministry in the marketplace.
Yeah. Dude, I love it. I love it, man. You mentioned that you help nonprofits as well. Is there a reason or a distinction that you make between serving and selling to nonprofits and then serving and selling to, let's say, profit-based businesses and business owners and entrepreneurs?
Yeah. So, I mean, a lot of the nonprofits I work with, everyone I try to add value to, but nonprofits, I find myself doing a lot of things for free. But nonprofits, don't be fooled. I mean, they make more money than profit businesses.
Yep.
But so a lot of the time it's just shifting the mindset. My marketing company is not a company that targets a certain type of person. The only type of person we're looking for is a small, medium-sized business who wants to go to the next level and grow their online presence. So whether you're, religious or not religious, Buddhist or, Muslim or Christian or whatever, agnostic, or it doesn't matter who you are, atheist, I'm going to help you. But I think nonprofits, I think they have an obligation to be held to a higher standard. I think I've seen how much. So I coached wrestling, back in 2007, 2008, 2009. I coached high school wrestling, and I was the head coach. Right out of high school, wow. I was the high school head coach, and it was a low income school. And I realized then that if you have a cause and you're really focused on serving people, businesses are throwing money at you. People are going to give you money. Things just fly at you. With that said, a nonprofit has a moral obligation to be at a higher standard on how they serve the community. So they should be, asking for donations, but they should also be giving workshops, and they should be giving activities that's gonna, you teach a man how to fish, he's gonna fish forever, right? He's gonna eat forever. You want to sow into what's going to live a residual effect. What's going to leave a legacy. Not just, oh, here, I got food, I'm going to give you food. It's, okay, what kind of programs can we develop so we can develop more leaders? And so I think nonprofits just have a higher obligation to do that stuff.
Well, really, I love that you say that. I was just thinking, like, today, especially millennials, which is the dominant force that's coming into the marketplace, the leaders, the people who are like getting all the positions in charge, so to speak, in the next decade or so, or decade or two. I think it's so cool that a lot of them want to champion a cause in their company, whether it's a nonprofit or a for-profit business. I think it's at this point, it's like essential to have a component of that just demonstrates, hey, I'm not just here to make money. I'm here to actually benefit our community. And here's how I put my money and my actions where my mouth is. I go out and I serve. And that's something that I've really been excited about doing more is helping young kids learn entrepreneurship, because a lot of schools are not teaching those principles and that mindset of how do you be an entrepreneur? How do you be self-sufficient? How do you create additional streams of income so you're not tied and trapped to one thing? We talked about freedom. Like for me, freedom is entrepreneurship. You get to do what you want, when you want, how you want, and ultimately you still have a boss, someone to report to, which is your clients, because if you're not serving them and making them happy, then you're going to be out of a job. So I think it's for me, I really got caught in the trap of screw corporate America. I don't ever want to be controlled. I'm going to do what I want when I want. And then I lost my stability and my structure, my systems, which are so important. And then I started to learn that again, and then started doing this 12-hour marathon 2 years ago. And I knew consistency is like one of those things. I'm going to sign up and say, yes, I still have freedom. I'm still the one who's quote unquote in control, but I'm submitting myself to a service that's greater than just me. I'm submitting myself to this process of supporting people, getting their message out, helping people become their greatest possible self. So it's like that's something that I'm willing to submit myself to, and it's like that word submit I think is super important too. It's like it's like surrender. I surrender myself to God. I surrender myself to service. I surrender myself to something bigger than me. And if people, like you said earlier, don't have that ego, then you can do that a lot more easily. You can just put your heart out there and serve, and everything comes back around. But we're not expecting that or attached to that happening in a certain time frame or in a certain way.
Yeah, absolutely. With young people, man, my favorite thing with young people is just to give them reality, right? You go on YouTube today. I mean, you got people. I don't want to expose people here or say names, but you got people who are like, "Hey, here I am in a garage. I got a Lamborghini. I got 2 of them. Great. Look at me." And it was all paid for by the person who it sponsored the ad, right?
Right.
And so I like to tell people, like I did a video recently, and I was like, here I am, I'm about to jump in my Honda, okay, that is paid off with almost 300,000 miles on it, and and that's the reality. And it's like, but I'm also going to Thailand and Cambodia in a few weeks. I'll be there for 3 weeks.
Yeah.
And but if I focus on a Lambo, I wouldn't be thinking about this time freedom that I get to spend with my wife and all these other things. But I think just kind of getting people to prioritize especially the young entrepreneurs, to prioritize what the focus is, service, and that's the main thing with them, and give them the reality of what it takes to be an entrepreneur. Because I had a young man, and his father's telling me how great this young man is, right? He dropped out of college to learn all these Facebook ads, and I was like, cool. Like, who's he doing Facebook ads for? No one. But he's learning a bunch. I'm like, he doesn't want to get a job because he's going to lose focus. Sometimes getting a job is getting you back on focus.
Yep. It's putting a little bit of it's like priority management. You got to be responsible with your time. You get more flow of abundance. You feel good because you're serving people and delivering value to your boss or customers or whoever, right? Like I think there's so much truth to that, dude.
Absolutely. A funny story, man. There was a time where, no joke, it was 2 months in between. 1 month, my business was great. I made 32 grand. Okay, in profit, my profits. Okay, business was great. 2 months later, I made 0. that same month, okay, I'm applying at a pumpkin patch.
Wow.
To work at a pumpkin patch.
Yep.
So I can make a little cash.
Yeah, man.
I don't got an ego. I don't care. Like, no one's going to take away that I made 32 grand in a month just because now I'm working at a pumpkin patch this month.
Yeah.
I still did what I did, and I'm going to do it again. I'm going to repeat it again. I learned, I'm going to repeat it again, and I did. And so it's like, some people are like, I don't want to get a job because I'm going to lose all my focus on what this thing is that I'm learning. I mean, if you're learning something and you're not applying it, it's going to be outdated like next week. Yeah. So start applying it so you don't lose that opportunity.
Well, especially with online today, I'm sure like people come to you and they probably feel like they've spent all this time and money in strategies and things that may not have worked. I think a lot of people feel like, man, it didn't work. The process, the system, whatever. I thought I did everything correctly, whatever. And either they didn't get the right help, it wasn't the right fit for them, or like they didn't apply it effectively. And then now it's like maybe months or years later, things have changed, times have changed, the technology has evolved, and it can be difficult for them to say, man, I got to go through all this again. I gotta like learn a new process. I was marketing with Google ads, and now it's like Facebook, and I got to learn a whole new system. It's like I think the ability to adapt and evolve is also something that serves people a lot. To be coachable, to be willing to learn and willing to adapt and evolve in whatever is needed in the marketplace at this time. All there is now. And of course we can project out into the future and prepare for what might be coming and make strategic moves like that. But it's really to just keep showing up and say, what do people need now? How can I serve them right now?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And I think back to, really what you said earlier is it's really because maybe they didn't have a safe place to fail.
Yeah.
And that's the barrier, right? Maybe they're so caught up on this big dream that deep down inside, they feel they may not be able to get, and they're scared to fail because they didn't grow up or they don't have currently a safe place to fail. And like the theme of today, right? To have your freedom, right? What was the theme again? I'm sorry.
It's freedom to fly, I think. Yeah.
Freedom to fly.
Yeah.
To have your freedom to fly, you need to have freedom to fail. And I think that's really what it comes down to is everyone's trying to learn more because they're so scared they're going to fail. So they don't want to apply. I just tell them, look, you are going to fail. Fail as fast as you can. Yeah. Like, dude, don't fail a year from now. Fail now. Like, dude, you figure this stuff out now, or you're going to figure it out when you're 50, 60 years old. When do you want to figure it out?
That's right, man.
I don't want to wait till I'm 50 or 60.
No way. Life is too short. So I love you said that. Also a good resource for people to check out if you want to grow in that willingness to fail is called Growth Mindset by Carol S. Dweck. Amazing book that really teaches you how to have rather than a fixed mindset, which says, I'm good at this and I want to stay good at this. I don't want to go outside of my genius zone or area of expertise for fear of failing and being ridiculed or not measuring up, and instead saying a growth mindset, which is I value the process of getting better. I value the process of showing up and making mistakes because then I get to learn, that I get to grow through it. And they say that the kids who are taught with a fixed mindset of, oh, Johnny, great job for getting an A. You're awesome. And celebrating kids for doing well in school and getting good grades, that can set them up. And I think a part of that actually happened to me. Like I was encouraged and applauded for getting good grades in school, and a little bit as well for doing my best and for growing, but it was more so for hitting the marks, for hitting the target. So I'm celebrated when I succeed. When I fail, nothing, right? Crickets. Or I get reprimanded. I get in trouble for that kind of stuff. So there wasn't as much of that growth mindset. Bless my parents. They're freaking amazing. And they raised a brilliant, beautiful, awesome son. Yes. and it's just the awareness now that I have that I'm going to be applying to my kids and the future generations and the people all around me, because it's not so much about did you succeed or fail, but what did you learn in the process?
Absolutely. And your parents are great. Obviously you're great. But I really think it's really the previous generation is, if they're like, they're probably humble, right? So they're allowing you to step on their shoulders, so you can be a little bit higher. Yep. And that's really what they can only do what they can do.
That's right. They say hindsight is 20/20, right? Looking back, oh, of course you should have done that. Well, right. Yeah, but in the moment, we're all doing our best, and I totally acknowledge my parents for everything, all the things that they gave up, the discipline, the consistency, the attention and love and support and nurturing. They are like, I love the heck out of my parents. They're so awesome, man. So let's begin wrapping it up, man. Let's give our audience some final takeaways. If there was anything that we didn't cover in this conversation that you think is really important about you, about your mindset, about marketing, ministry in the marketplace, anything else you really want to drive home?
Yeah, I just want people to understand that if they come from a service heart, and everybody wants to be great, greatness is an admirable achievement, in all areas of your life. But if you want to be great, there's one key. It's service to many leads to greatness. And if you just focus on serving people and, forget about karma, just truly just serve people with what you got, with what you have. If you have a little, serve with a little. If you got a lot, serve with a lot. you're going to do great. You're going to build a business that's going to add value and it's going to pay you tenfold, and it's going to do everything that you've ever wanted to do. Yeah. But, besides serving, I just want to say, get connected with Chris. You are a great coach. You have a process to help people discover themselves. You have a process to help people identify what they need to do. And you truly are filling the gaps for people from where they are to where they want to be. So I would just encourage people, serve people, but get with a mentor like Chris. Get with Chris. If they don't have an opportunity to get with you because maybe you're fully booked or you're not accepting new clients at the time, just consume your content and, get to know your information, but just to apply it. Yeah. And apply it with somebody who can at least keep you accountable. So, that's what I would like to drive home. I mean, that's all that matters is applied knowledge. Learning something without actually doing something is not learning at all.
So. I love it. And thank you, man. I fully received that. And for anyone out there who's committed to growing yourself into your greatest possible self, and especially you see yourself as a world changer, a leader, purpose-driven entrepreneur, let's talk. I have many ways to support you, connecting you with awesome guests like Zach, helping you build your own podcast, come on 12-hour marathon, lots of really great things. And I also wanted to circle back to one of the points that you made is like when you are focused on serving others, like you take the focus off yourself, the spotlight off yourself, and shine it on others. A lot of people have a lot of self-doubt and self-criticism and hesitation, procrastination, because they're caring about what other people think about them. And if you put that focus on others and say, how can I go serve someone? How can I make someone else's day better? And just do the basics, like send a message, send 3 messages a day, send make 2 phone calls a day. Just telling people you love them, you're proud of them, and you acknowledge them for being themselves without an agenda. And you just show up and you give and you appreciate people. That is so freaking magical. And I want to give a practical example of where I've seen someone who has all the potential in the world and is a brilliant freaking genius who knows a lot. But when it comes to applying it, he falls short because he is really concerned about his privacy and doesn't want to be exposed, right? Doesn't want to be in danger for people. There's a lot of crappy stuff that goes on in the world, and people who aren't as kind and as an integrity and ethical as us. Thankfully, in the personal development industry, there's a lot less of that. But in other industries, it can really run rampant. And he doesn't have a social media profile. He doesn't go online because he wants to remain private, remain anonymous. And for me, it's just dude, you are totally being selfish in the amount of value and wisdom that you can give to the world by showing up and owning your voice, owning your presence, and owning the wisdom that you have. You have so much to teach and give to the world, but because you say, I'm not going on social media, I want to be private, I want to be anonymous and secure, it's there's always going to be a way that you can be in danger. There's always vulnerabilities. There's always, someone can hack you, someone can get your information, whatever. There's always a way. So stop being afraid of that and go out and serve and put the focus on loving other people, and everything else will take care of itself. You're big enough, you're powerful enough to handle whatever comes your way. If there's difficulties, obstacles, breakdowns, bankruptcies, divorces, whatever people are going through, you are enough to handle it. And if you show up with the growth mindset, more than likely you'll be able to break through the limitations, the blocks, the self-sabotage before you get to that point. And that's the value of having a mentor like Zachary, like myself, to be able to help you wherever you're at. So, dude, I love this, Zach. It's a powerful, powerful conversation. Let's let people know where they can connect with you and how they can take their next steps on the journey with you, man.
Awesome, man. Anybody who watches this, I have created a special something for them. I'm going to give them an extra gift. Everyone who connects with me, I give them as much value as possible. But for your guests, I created something even more special. So I'm going to give them, it's a secret though, okay? So I'm not going to say what it is, partially because I'm still creating it, but it's going to be something special, and I truly mean that. So I created a special link for you. So anyone who wants to connect with me, they could go to www.wealthtraveler.com/Chris Burns.
Boom.
So there you go.
Wealthtraveler.com/Chris Burns. I can go there. What about social media, man?
Social media, they can find me just at Zachary D'Amato or at Wealth Traveler. Anything Zachary D'Amato, Wealth Traveler, my name pretty much comes up.
And
I do want to let
spell
you
your
know
name. Spell your name for people.
Zachary, last name D'Amato, Damato.
Beautiful.
And
Beautiful.
yeah, so Wealth Traveler. But then if they don't go to the / Chris Burns, they're not going to get the special gift. So it's very important they do that. And so I just wanted to do that so I could give back to you also, Chris. So.
Thank you, man. Thank you. I appreciate it, Zach. And what can we be excited about on the horizon for you, man, for the rest of the year and in the coming years? What can we be looking for from you?
Honestly, so 3 years ago, I made a decision to really go into the next pour into the next generation. So I've been speaking in schools and things like that.
That's
And
awesome.
so I want to do more of that. I want to do more. And, it's funny because so if there's anybody there that feels like they're not ready to speak in schools, okay, I don't think I'm ready either, but I have a mentor that I bring with me. He does all the speaking.
That's great.
Okay. So maybe you're not the expert, but you're bringing in the expert. And that's what I've been doing. So I bring in him, he'll speak, and I just love pouring into the next generation, and it makes me so hopeful. So some of that. Also, I've been reaching out to more people like yourself, doing some podcasts. I just want to share the message of ministry in the marketplace and just help as many people as possible.
Beautiful.
Really.
Dude, I love it, man. Great job, Zach. And everyone stay connected with Zach. It's at Zachary D'Amato, and that's ZACHARY Check it out, and wealthtraveler.com/Chris Burns, and go get that awesome gift that is still a surprise. You're leaving us so like watering at the mouth, Zach. It's tantalizing what this surprise is. So I appreciate you being here, man. Looking forward to growing on the journey. You got a big heart and serving a lot of people. So I know that there's really, really great things coming from you. So keep up the heat, keep becoming your greatest possible self, and empowering others to do the same, man.
Thank you so much, Chris. It's been an honor being on your show. Thank you.
Awesome. We'll see you soon, okay?
See you soon.
All right. Take care.